Very good afternoon. Good morning to Ed. Good afternoon to Saro. And good evening to all on frequency. This is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India, running the net today, the worldwide DATV Net. Want to thank Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us an opportunity to be on their satellite, although it's an amateur radio satellite built by the AMSAT DL team and designed. We also wish to thank AMSAT UK and of course the BATC, British Amateur Television Club, for their fantastic work and shop and wiki. It certainly helps a lot. Today on the list we have as follows. We have G8KOE, and he's now running simple, the simple test, and also nicely in sync with his audio. Peter said he might be in time at GW7BZY. I hope so, Peter. Just don't rush to get here. Hello to Leon, ZS1 Mexico, Mexico. And then Ed, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. And then Benno with an HF filter today. Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray. You see, we've been having load shedding, things like you can't believe. I installed a new generator over this Monday, I think it was. It's working well. The timing was a bit out, but I sorted that out yesterday, and the generator went off and the lights came back on with the mains. So that's excellent. It's working well. I didn't have to panic that I'd lose things in the meantime. So that is the news from this end. I just want to wish Saro well. He has not been well. He's ill in bed. So he said he will be watching, but he will not be coming up. So Saro, we wish you a very fast, we must get quickly a fast recovery. And then G6HFS is watching today. He's not on transmission, but he'll be watching on YouTube. So far we have 5 guys on live on YouTube, so we wish to say hi. Normally it's Rudolf and Gunther, the stalwarts, so I'll say a good afternoon to them by voorbaat, in advance. Okay, with that, let's see, to you as G8KOE to please take it from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
I think we've got it. Yeah, we've locked in on my 2 receivers, and I can hear some audio. And anyway, let's mute it so it's not in my ear. Well, as Gary said, I'm running DATV Simple, which I've got to say a big thank you to Ohan, because I don't think without his efforts I'd have never got onto this sort of mode to play with. I've got some sort of silly things that happen, but absolutely brilliant, well humoured. So a big thank you. I needed to say that first. Screen. Oh, don't want a big me, do we? Well, I didn't put the filter in. Get rid of that. Right, that's probably better. So that's it running, and there's lots of things. I've learned a lot, and learned a lot that I didn't know. It is very simple, but it's also easy to lose one's way when you're old like me. But one thing, I don't know whether anybody else is running this same sort of equipment, but running a Pluto B, because I find that if I look in my device manager, which I will bring up. Oh, let's scroll it down a bit. There are 2 entries which are associated with Pluto, which is source stroke sync and both have got code 10 on them, which I think means they've stopped. Now, I'm not sure that's normal or whether it's something that's strange to do with the Dell computer that I'm using. Ohan doesn't run the same sort of system, so he couldn't actually give me any advice on that. So that I'd be interested in. So it's a Pluto B that I'm using. I've put the new firmware on, and I get that. Now, Dell computer tends to have lots of hidden audio bits and pieces and things that Dell seem to want to install on it. So it may be just something that's on this particular computer that's sort of showing up, but be interested in that without a doubt. The other thing which is strange to me, I think, again, which is with the software, I can move frequency, or not move frequency, move symbol rate from 333 to 500 to 1 and back down again. If I go down below 333, it doesn't want to let me come back. Now, I'm not sure it's because it's the Pluto B that I'm using. I'm going to try putting the firmware on the other computer. But again, everything works fine with Ohan, so I'm looking for someone running Windows 11 just to see whether it's something silly this end or whatever. But still very good. It's a lovely bit of loads of work that's been done on that. I'm trying to think how many hours that Ohan spent, and the picture quality seems to be, I think, quite a lot better. But anyway, well humoured, so thank you very much. And I never thought I would get on with the new firmware, and I certainly wouldn't without the work that's been done. Anyway, that's all I've really been playing with. That and a bit of gardening, but you don't want to know about that. So I wonder whether Peter's managed to get back. If not, I think it's Leon to take it afterwards. So I'll stick up a test card and pass it on from G8KOE.
Oh, it seems like Peters hasn't made it yet. Okay, good afternoon everybody, and hi to Saro. Hope you get well soon. Hope it's not something serious. Okay, Gary, hello to you, to Martin, Peter, who's not there, Ed, I'm watching out for the cartoon, and Benno. Yeah, Martin, I don't see any difference. Your picture was pretty good. Remember, I've told you before that your picture is pretty good and your audio is superb. So I cannot see a difference there. But what I do see is that your PPM is out of sync. Your lip sync is right, but your PPM is now out of sync. Okay, otherwise it's very hot here in Worcester. There's a bit of a breeze now, but it's still hot. I'm still working on the rocket stuff for the FTS. I've finished the PC board, the making of the board on Friday. I've etched it and everything and drilled the few holes because it's mostly surface mount. Then I made some tests this morning and I found that I've made a bit of a blub. I thought that the 5-volt output of the PIC will be enough to switch on the FET, but it's not quite enough. You need a bit more volts. So I quickly built a little translator that gives me from 3 volt in, it'll give me 12 volts out to really saturate the FET, which means I must make it tiny. I'll make it all in surface mount, so it's going to be like a quarter of a postage stamp. little translator board and also mount that with the FET, which gets mounted on the box anyway for heat sinking. And I tested it with a 10 amp load and it laughs at it. No heatsink on the FET, it still stays cold with 10 amps running through it. It's rated 75 amps, so I'm sure that will fire the squib. I've spoken to the armorer guy at the test range, and he reckons the squibs are rated safe up to 1 amp. They will not detonate up to 1 amp. Anything below 1 amp is safe. Above 1 amp, they might go. So I said to him, no, I'll give you at least 5 amps. So he said, oh, that will definitely do it. So if they want to destruct the rocket in flight, this should be more than enough. Apart from that, no, not much going on here. Just trying to get this whole project finished and courier it up to them. Right. So Martin, yeah, your signal is still good. It was good and it's still good. It's just your PPM is out of sync now. Gary, I wanted to show you what one of those mixers look like, which I suspect could be defective in that network analyzer, but I only thought of it too late, and when I started scratching in the box, your music started to play, so I thought, no, I'll just close the cupboard. I'll show it to you some other time. Okay, right, Ed, show us that cartoon. Papa Yellow 2, Romeo November, for the group from ZS1, Mike.
Hi Leon, thank you. Hi everybody. Zulu Sierra 1 Mike, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November coming. Good afternoon Gary, Martin, Leon and Benno. Good morning people here from South America. Good evening people from India, Asia. Hello to Saro, hope you feel better. If Saro comes in today, I would request some help. I need him to help me with some Indian company, some Indian amateur radio equipment company. Made an order with them in March, and I have no update. I will not tell the company, but I'm a little worried. I try to call them, but I don't know, difference in timing, and usually calls don't go through. It's a nightmare. All right. Okay. Yeah, all the images, KOE, Martin was good. Nice to see you working on the DATV simple. We we are having. It's easy to make confusion because we have several variants with almost the same name. We have DATV easy, DATV not so easy, DATV simple. So not sure if someone gonna launch the DATV not so simple. It's gonna be a nightmare with those names. But yeah, I'm up to test it as well. I just need to go. My Pluto sits on the top on the roof, and I need to go there and take it and load the new firmware and try to work with this Node-RED interface, which seems very interesting. Apart from that, the only thing I'm working is I was talking to Benno earlier this week. Some impressions about the new DX Patrol transverter for the Pluto. I've tested it working. I just need to wait for the HF filter board that he gonna show just after me, because the transverter puts out a very small power, about 50 milliwatts, and using those Chinese little amplifiers, it generates, it's crazy, it's too much harmonics, and it will cause, certainly it will cause damage to my PA, despite of all the damage for the spectrum as well. So I'm waiting for the filter board to keep going on with the testing, and the meantime I just try to I'm assembling another amplifier here. It's this time I'm gonna use simple LDMOS, not the double ones. It uses 4 MRF 300. Supposedly gonna give me about 1.2 kilowatts. Actually, never used this level of power. For me, 500 watts is enough, depending on the occasion. But yeah, those are the MRF 300. This one is the AN, and here goes the BN. The board is from Australia, Victor Kilo 3 Alpha Mike Papa. Those are good boards. It's not the first one that I'm using. I used other ones, and yeah. So let's see. The problem when I use those bigger LDMOS, the double ones, that they get too hot. I mean, I don't like when they get too hot. And I'll test this one and see if it works more, you know, not so hot. So let's see what happens. Alright guys, that's it I have to show. Hope you got me. My signal is not so strong, but I hope you could decode me here on the satellite. So I'm passing to Beno, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray now. Beno, get ready. This is Papa Yankee 2 Romeo November.
Afternoon, good morning, good evening to you guys. I am in the middle of watching about 2 or 3 screens, because next to the net is exactly in the same time slot the Formula 1 last race. And obviously I have to cheer my Dutch fellow man, doing a great job there. Again, so almost normal, but we shouldn't think it's normal. But obviously I also like to see the net, and I try to follow the net as much as possible on as big as possible screen, and yet I couldn't recognize the screen, the problem of the device manager Martin showed me. I have a B active, and if I swap to the other screen, let's see, do I have another screen? I can show you this, which is my version, and I don't think you can read it, but there are 2 Plutos in the ports, and that's correct because there are 2 Plutos on my network, on my USB network. I have 2 in the USB devices. I have 2 I2O, which are the Lilo drivers for the DATV Easy, and somewhere along here you see also a bunch of devices, but these are, I believe, the mini tuners, which I have also installed. I think these are also, but I don't see any problems and I don't see any mistakes. But yet, it's still the normal F5 OEO version. It's not a different version yet, and that's also the reason why I'm still not working with the DATV Simple. Well, I like those names, Ed. That's better than telling I'm working with F5 OEO version whatever. Then you need to remember the name for Dominic and the name for Owen and the name for Tom and the name for, what's his name again, Michael. So maybe I like the abbreviations from that name. One other thing, I worked this week on my multi-transceiver. I added some extra I/O with some power FETs for controlling all the devices which are not needed at certain stages of the settings. For instance, if I'm not using the shortwave transverter, I don't need the power to connect it to it, which saves a lot of noise and temperature and power and things like that. And the same goes for the mini tuner and the NTP server and things like that. If you don't need it, don't power it. That was my last improvement. And on Friday I got in the mail already in 2 or 3 weeks, so that's good. This board, it's nice build. It's from Yanni HA8LFK, and I've seen other boards from him. It's a nice build. It's I think even completely well, it's not manual soldered, at least I think so, because it's really nice built. There's no component wrong on the board. So I decided to connect it. Obviously I can't do that. I made some small pictures to show. This is the DX Patrol transverter, putting from directly out of the Pluto up to 80 megahertz down for transmitting and receiving. And despite what Ed told us last week, the PTT does work. You'll see a red LED, a red light at least on the left side, and that is meaning that it's on transmitting. And it's it's set with the 3.3 millimeter jack plug onto TX, and then I connected that directly on the left side, connected it directly to well, not to that board. Let's go back. I selected 3.6 megahertz. So out of my multi-transceiver, connected it, and took a test with this board. Without this board, it gives me this on my spec. My spec is set for 100 megahertz span. Way on the left, you'll see the 3.6 megahertz signal. I took an easy FM signal, so I don't have problems with all kind of modulations, and so it's just a signal carrier on FM, not on CW. But well, you see it's a high peak, and you see all the spurious directly coming out of the transverter. And then next to that, I put the filter board in, and that looks, well, I would say much better. It's doing at least 40 dB down for the next step, and I can't see it yet. I should do, it's a quick test, by the way. I can do a deeper search, but then I obviously need different spans and things like that, and maybe some attenuation, extra attenuation. But the board did exactly what to expect in the pass-through, only a minor few half dB or something, and in the blockage on the board of the frequencies you don't want. It's virtually clean for at least 40-50 dB down, so that looks promising. It's all not completely built in, it's all free wire, so obviously there are some kind of things to solve, and I need to control this board first, so that's the next week for me. Do I have something else? I don't think so, no. Okay, putting it back to my own device. Well, that's basically what I did over the last week, and next week I will install this board a little bit better. Let's see what's going on. And well, before Christmas I hope I start with the DATV Not So Easy, and but I first need to talk about a little bit to the guys already know what they are doing, because I have some questions and some limitations. My PC is fast enough, but I'm using always my PC for so many other things besides DATV, and I don't want to compromise the other things next to the DATV. DATV Easy is running smooth and flawlessly next to it, and I understand I get better quality and better control, but do I need it at the moment? I first should have a different camera if I want a better quality, because if the input is bad, the output would never be better. Okay, we missed Peter. I think I need to pass it on to him. BZY, if you're already in. Otherwise, back to net control, because let's quickly check my list, but I think nobody is behind me yet. DW7 BZY, if you're in, please take it, and otherwise pass it on to our net control from Papa Alpha 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-Ray.
Okay, I gave quite a long break just in case Peter was watching on YouTube, and then there is a delay before he takes it. Anyway, Benno, I must compliment you. Your picture of late has been extremely good. The quality of your video has improved dramatically. So I don't know what you've done, but it's fantastic. It's clear, it's sharp, it's got the right coloring, and I don't think you can improve it, to be honest. And I think Leon will bear us out here. He's the one with the visual and audio network analyzer built in between his ears and his eyes, of course. Anyway, yeah, no, Peter didn't come up. It's going to be a short net. I'm going to make this the final over. I just want to pop out and go and see if this new compressor, or what do you call it, generator, is doing its thing. And yeah, I don't have very much more to say. Brian G6HFS is still watching. And then there was, and Paul was watching as well. He sent some photos. He's on holiday, or he's at some do. That's OE, what is Paul's call sign now? OE8BPK or BCK. And he's out of house, so he's having fun with some devil, visiting devils, an old Austrian tradition. Okay, so that's what he's doing, and I'm sure they're having a lot of fun. Anyway, let's just quickly have a peek at the list. The next one will be you, Martin. Your sync, everything's perfect, and I'm sure that Leon's going to have a bit of fun pulling your leg there. But no problem with your signal at all. So, sir, back to you. G8KOE to take it from ZS6 Yankee India. And I can't answer you on the Pluto because I haven't found anything wrong with mine. It's working. Yours is working, so something must be okay. Take it away there, Martin, from ZS6YI.
Hey there, Gary. Yeah, I wasn't sure you were going to turn off then. I think I've mainly noticed the improvement possibly in pictures when I've been doing some video through. I don't think there's a great deal of difference with where I am at the moment. But the things that I do like is the start and stop buttons, which work exceedingly well for me. And being able to adjust the frequency is not 100% necessary, but the Pluto that I'm using, the B, is was not locked, so it's actually I didn't show any pictures, is it, of it? I'm sure I had some. Wasn't really prepared, but let's see if I can locate where I stuck the pictures. For it, he says. Blah, blah, blah. Where are we going? We're going there, and we're going to simple there, and there should be some Pluto pictures there, which yeah, I stuck a fan or some heat sinks in a fan, so that's what it because the information was that it gets very hot, etc., and be cautious. So that's what I did. That's the one I'm actually using. So I progressed on. Then I put a top to it, which is a bit of a cheat really, but there's plenty of ventilation in through the side. One thing I did find is that because there wasn't a gap at the front, it vibrated and hit the front, so it made a noise. So I had to put a little pad just in the front there. I'm in the way, aren't I, really? You had to put a little pad just in the front here to stop it from vibrating. But I think the other problem that I did, let's get rid of that, did come across that somebody said that a hum on the sound. And what it was that little fan was vibrating through and through the whole of the desk and up into the microphone. So it now sits on a little bit of padded area. But all good. And to you there, Ed, you were D3, and Benno, you were D4. So Ed, your pictures were great. Absolutely had them full screen on the big monitor, working very well. Well, Leon's pictures are always cracking. They had change. The other thing that is quite nice with this software is being able to alter the gain, plus and minus. It's very nice control. It was a little bit more erratic on DATV Easy. And to you there, Benno, I'm running just the one PC, which I'm able to run a number of things on, which if we go to the right screen, at the moment I'm running 2 receive programs. Okay, the Winter Hill, I suppose you could say, is not, but anyway, that's running on there. And on the left screen we'll be running OBS, etc. And I've not had any problems. I thought it might be a bit of a struggle. I wasn't sure. This is an i7, 10th generation, or it says, can't remember now. This is having to dig out some. That's blanked on my screens there when I did that. CPU. It's 13th generation i7, 13700. But yeah, no, it's all seems to quite humid. And setting it up wasn't too bad a problem. I must admit, I downloaded because there's a new version. Well, not a new version, but there's a DATV Red, it's called. So I downloaded it. I thought I'd just install that in a separate directory just to get used to it, to see whether I could set up another application, so when there's an update I could anyway. Thank you there for my Linux, eh? What's Linux? Yeah, thanks for the report there. And I downloaded it and I couldn't get it to work for starters, but then suddenly I was getting very close to asking ON, what am I doing wrong? And I looked, and the time stream input address was different. Obviously ON uses a different one. So once I'd converted that to my standard 192.168.2.1 and the port 8282, it all worked. So that was a learning curve for me, which was good. I do struggle, but anyway. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna, I don't think there's anything else I've got to comment on. Oh yeah, to you there, Benno. I turned your sound off to start with, because once you started talking about the Grand Prix, and I thought, I don't watch it live, you see. I watch a cheap rerun, which is not the full race, but so I always dread it when you come on. I think, no, please don't tell me. So apart from that, I was interested in your filter board, etc., which did seem to make quite a difference. Anyway, I'll pass it on to Peter, if he's really there this time. That's the GW7BZY, so get ready if you're going to come on. And I'll say 7-3 to everybody, and can't throw any comments to Gary, but thank him for helping me with set the audio up, and we'll see how we go. So I'll So 7.3's all. Pop the test card up and drop from G8 KOE.
Okay, Martin, G8 KOE in the group. What's left of it? ZS1 might returning. Yeah, it seems that Peter definitely didn't make it in time. Yeah, Martin, I see you're clever. You removed that ppm now. So I can't complain about it being out of sync anymore. Okay. I don't think you need it on the screen anyway. You must build the other man's one with a meter, with a proper mechanical meter. Okay, Gary, there was something else I wanted to tell you, but now you're gone, and I've also forgotten what I wanted to tell you. So, that's too bad. Ed, no, your power was more than enough. Your crystal clear solid copy here. Everybody was perfect. No hassles too. I'm using Mini Tuner, Scan and Tune. It always works on all signals. Except that rubbish that they used to play with there next to the beacon. I think they've stopped doing that now because it was highly irritating, because I cannot decode it with any of the stuff that I've got. So yeah, your signal is perfect, and also Benno, no problem whatsoever. And that filter is really working well, Benno. Gee whiz, from all that rubbish, just a little second harmonic 40 dB down. That is excellent. It's definitely not going to do any damage to your amplifier. But I still think you could have gotten away much cheaper by making a tunable one with maybe 2 or 3 coils that you switch. Just and mark it and so on. Anyway, I'm analog. I don't really work with bits and bytes. Okay, so yeah, then I'm running on the UPS, but the mains is still on. But yeah, we're really having lots of power cuts now lately. Oh yes, Martin, I saw earlier today, I think it was a German guy running DATV Red Linux on 125. He was first on 250k and then he went down to 125k, and it was really good. So I don't know what that is. DATV Red, running it in Linux. But anyway, yeah, I have a spare solid state drive on this computer of mine. It was supposed to be for backup, but the people who installed it, they didn't make the thing to backup. Because I know nothing about computers, but I've looked in there, there's just about nothing in there. It's not backing up any of the stuff I've got on this drive. So maybe if I whisper nicely into Uwan's ear, he can recreate a whole new computer on that drive for me and leave this system exactly as it is. I have a spare Pluto with the old first generation original firmware on it, which we definitely won't go back to. I kept it there in case this version of Pluto I'm not happy with, but I'm perfectly happy with this system. It's ultra stable. I'm just not having any problems with it. But that thing of Uwan is definitely, it is a bit sharper on the lower symbol range. On 1 meg and above, obviously it doesn't make any difference. But here on 333 and obviously lower, it definitely makes a difference. And he's got that nice dashboard. So if he can install that on the other drive for me, but then he'll have to copy the Windows as well, you know, move everything across there, put the Windows there, the OBS and all the other gooders that's needed. If that is possible, and then reflash my old Pluto with the new F50EO firmware for this thing, then I'll go for it, because it's very tempting. But I'll never let go of this system, because this is robust. I'm very happy with this. Okay, that's it from me. I'll listen for Ed and Benno, and then I'm going to switch off. And Brian, if you're still watching, yeah, as I told you, the box is working perfectly. We flew the aircraft, and it's all 4 cylinder head temperatures are there. He now has a similar problem on the other aircraft. So fortunately, we have more than one IC. So it's again 2 cylinders are not registering at all, and we've checked the thermocouples; they are fine. So it must be those same ICs in the identical box in that aircraft that's also failed. So I'm going to him now. I phoned him earlier today. We had an appointment for 12 o'clock for doing some test flights with his drone to optimize the settings of the camera. But he's not there, and he doesn't answer his phone. He is hopeless, totally hopeless with making appointments, this guy. You can only talk to him when you see him. You can't make an appointment with him. He's always late. So, yeah, I'll phone him now, and then if he answers, I'll go over there, and then the wind is not, oh, it's getting a bit bad for drone flying now. But anyway, we've got lots of other work to do as well at his place. He's got so many things that need attention. And I want to help him, but man, is he difficult to get hold of. He's always out somewhere. Okay, so it's cheers from me, 73s. And cheers to you, Gary, if your generator is still running. We're still on the mains here, but as I say, I'm running on the UPS. So, Ed, over to you. Papa Yellow 2, Romeo November for the group. ZS1 Mike saying cheerio, but I'll be watching.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Leon. Same happens to me. I mean, the system here is working perfectly. Uh, Take me some time to get this. I'm talking about the DATV station here. It takes some time to get this thing stabilized. So I'm not too much motivated to change things. I do run the reception. I do run OpenTuner from Tom, version 07 Fox. As soon as I found to change the decoding stuff from VLC to FFmpeg here on the OpenTuner, my problems went away. When using VLC, I got some issues with some stations. I was not able to decode the audio, but now with FFmpeg, I'm decoding everything. Not a problem. And transmission I'm using not so easy, but I use it DATV Easy as well. It works fine. It works really fine, and those are the options. I think the main challenge today, mainly for the new stations interested to join the ATV, is to get the receiver. There is no option on the market as far as I know, and I know that BATC is making efforts. We have Rocky, PO2, RQV also making efforts to try to find a solution. So hopefully we can find it. Yep. Benno, please let me know if you have an idea or plan to switch the band on this filter. Because if I remember it correctly, it uses a 5-volt voltage to switch among the bands. So I'm just wondering if you figure out some way to switch the bands. I'm not sure. I do have all the other SDR equipments here that they put out a open collector signal that when they change bands, the software does it, and the hardware with the open collector commands. So it's easy. I do use it on the other SDR software slash hardware, but with this the Pluton transverter and mainly probably going to be using SDR console. SDR console does have the USB relays, but there is nothing related to band switch. It's something else. It's more related to PTT and stuff, as far as I know. Yep, so let me know if you have an idea. Okay, guys, nice net, a short one, but always nice to see you all. So saying 73 to Gary, thanks for coordinating, to Martin, showing the red note there. Leon, good luck with your rockets and your implementations. It's very interesting. Maybe you can later on make some videos and show to us here. And Benno, good luck to Verstappen. I hope he wins. So back to you, Papa Alpha 3, Fox Bravo X-Ray. This is Papa Yankee 2, Romeo November.
Yeah, no problem. Ed, thanks all. Great signals from everyone. The only issue I had today is basically capturing the first image from Ed from the previous because he's slightly off in respect of Leon. Either Leon is a little bit too low or Ed is a little bit too high, just behind each other. I missed the first seconds because Winterhill's not locking it. You need to click on it and then it will lock, and it's doing flawless reception. My own signal as well. I see after Ed comes up, OpenTuner is not locking it because it's slightly off frequency. Well, maybe besides choosing the 333, we can all calibrate the frequency once in order to sort out that small problem. But that's mainly it's like just the way receivers lock, and using AFC to lock it on directly on the frequency. But again, like I said, Winterhill does another job. Sometimes OpenTuner, and sometimes Winterhill is locking it, and it's either one. For the band switching, yeah, well, I have an easy way there to first start on the last part, because the port zone is supplying on 4 pins a nice band switching, which is then catched by a Arduino, and that one is controlling all the I/O, including the band switching, and including the right ports and the right hardware to switch on and things like that. So that's not a problem for me. I understand from, and that's a nice idea from SDR console, because my whole setup is also meant to be driven by external sources. It should be working standalone, but I can also switch my Pluto with a Longmind client and with not with Longmind client, but at least using it as a well, port forwarding, I should say, using it directly, and using it on the network, for instance, in respect with SDR console. I actually haven't set it up yet because it's not needed, but the setup is made. The the hardware should be able to do it. The general idea is that it will be done eventually. And then obviously you get all kind of problems. I'm still able from my from my Arduino controller controlling the right bands. So I can do it manually there. That's also not a problem. But the ideal way would be that somehow as the console will be able to control what kind of amplifier should be switched on and some kind of signaling. And I'm still thinking about that. If there would be an idea to have communication in that, and I think we end up ending Simon Brown for needing Simon Brown for that job, because he should then communicate something, some settings on either a network or whatever to be able to catch chord, I would say. So yes and no, I don't have a problem. Yes, it would be an idea to investigate the solution there. For me, it's just a matter of connecting it to my Arduino I/O through the various extra I/O I already have. And Leon, no, we are not using any variable capacitors, turning it into a certain frequency to figure out, because I know myself, if most of the amplifiers and drives will die while setting up a certain station at a certain place somewhere in the field, and you forgot to connect the right antenna, or misadjusted one of the filters, and still wondering why it's not working. So no. If I want a box, it should do as much as it can. It should be able to alter it in the field, but everything which can be automated, it should be automated, because while trying to make that special contact, you will forget to set up something and damage the whole whatever which is in between. But I think so. I like this switchable filter board, which was expensive but not too expensive. If I see Ed's Motorola drive transistors, it's I know what they cost, and it's ridiculous, I would say. Okay, Martin, I will not tell the progress of the Formula 1 race. I don't want to spoil anything, and but well, I'm still watching it on my left eye. But after that, if you have time, and maybe this week, we should have a good QSO, two-way QSO, where I want to pick your brain and pick your experience on the not so easy, to make an easy start for me. Well, not so easy on the simple, on the DATV simple, because I really need the latest information. And while I was distracted, like with the multi-transceiver, I will try to get it. We'll try to get the DATV easy, or not so easy, or simple, working as well for me. I have experience with Node-RED, but only yet. I know it runs on the, and that's also for Leon. Node-RED is a blocky operating system, and it runs on. It's a controller system better. It runs on the Windows or on a Linux or on a well, even Apple I would run it, but it's a controlling program running on various platforms, and inside the controlling you can make complete programs for controlling whatever you want, I/O on input or output or displays or dashboards or things like that. And that's a marvelous system, but I'm only used to work on the Raspberry with Node-RED yet, and I wonder how Node-RED works with this case. And I understand also the coding and decoding is being done somewhere on the CPU, and it's all controlled, I believe, through Node-RED. So would I want Node-RED installed on the Raspberry and then control an FFmpeg player back on of coder back on the PC, or should it be all done on the PC? Or, well, the total package, that's I'm lost. And I will be asking a bunch of questions about that, and then maybe we can also look where you have changed, or what you have changed. And I want to implement also the latest FF5OEO firmware on one of my Plutos. So then I would be able to do the complete update, because I think that is the main advantage for controlling. You can get better resolutions through if you have the right FPGA programming installed. Okay, well, that's all for now. Have a nice weekend, a week. See you later. Peter, you're back, I see. Do you want to have an over? If so, please take it after me. From Papa Alpha 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-Ray Golf Whiskey 7 BZY PA 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray listening. Do I have a
I did say I'm going. I've been back. So I'm going to close the net. Wish everybody a very happy week. Thanks for coming up. And to all the guys on YouTube watching, Ismail and Adam and Tobias. We wish you guys all a very happy week as well. And by the way, those filters work excellent. You're very lucky. It's working beautifully. And so well done on that. Yeah, nothing else much to complain about. So I'm going to say cheers to all. I'm going to cut the YouTube link, and we see each other next week. This is ZA6YI saying 7-3. If I can get this thing to switch off.